When I was 29, my girlfriend and I decided to spend a weekend at a secluded cabin owned by a friend. It was late autumn, and a heavy rainstorm was pounding down outside. The cabin was isolated, surrounded by thick woods for miles in every direction. The only thing keeping us safe from the outside was a creaky, old wooden door with a weak lock that hadn't been fixed in years. Last time my friend was there, he placed a heavy wooden plank across the door as a makeshift barrier since the door opened inward anyway. We were curled up on the couch, staying warm by the fireplace and watching a movie, when my girlfriend suddenly grabbed my arm. She said she heard something outside. I tried to reassure her, thinking it might just be a raccoon or some other wildlife, but a few minutes later, I heard it too. I muted the TV to listen. The sound was coming from the small tool shed outside. My car was parked nearby, and with all the cabin lights on, whoever was out there knew we were inside. My girlfriend urged me to check it out, but I told her no way, I wasn't going outside in the middle of a storm. The noise stopped, and after a few moments of silence, I felt brave enough to shut off the inside lights and peek through the blinds. It was too dark to see much. I switched on the porch light, and that's when I noticed them, footprints in the mud, leading toward the back of the cabin. They weren't animal tracks. They were clearly human. I cautiously moved to the window facing the backyard, and as soon as I pulled back the curtain, I froze. My girlfriend let out a scream. Even though there were no lights in the back, we could make out the silhouette of a man standing there, dressed in black, wearing a mask. He was just staring at the window. I yanked the blind shut and told my girlfriend to hide in the bedroom while I grabbed an old hunting rifle that was left in the closet. I pushed the plank and some heavy furniture in front of the door to reinforce it, turned off the lights, and joined my girlfriend in the bedroom corner. A few minutes later, there was a loud banging at the door. He was trying to break in. I held the gun tightly, ready for anything, but after several failed attempts, the banging stopped. The intruder seemed to give up and disappear into the night. I stayed awake all night, keeping watch while my girlfriend tried to sleep. As soon as dawn broke, we packed up and left immediately. But before we drove off, I noticed something chilling, fresh footprints leading from the cabin window straight into the woods. That was the last time I went back to that cabin. My friend has been there since, and they said nothing was missing or damaged, but I have no desire to return. A few years later, something else happened that still haunts me. My grandma lived just a few blocks away, and I would visit her every afternoon to help with chores. One day, I let myself in like I always did and was surprised to find the door unlocked. My grandma was usually very cautious. From upstairs, I could hear her moving around, opening and closing drawers. I called out to her as I made my way up, but just as I reached her bedroom door, she slammed it shut. I knocked, asking if everything was okay. That's when my phone rang. It was my grandma. She told me not to come over that day because she was headed to her senior club. I stood frozen, my heart racing. Someone was in the house. Playing it cool, I said, "Okay, Grandma, I'll see you later," and quickly went downstairs to grab a kitchen knife while dialing 911. The house was eerily quiet. When the police arrived, they burst into the bedroom, and the sudden gunshot startled me. As paramedics wheeled the intruder out, I recognized him. He was my grandma's next-door neighbor. He had broken in, thinking the house was empty, and was hiding in her bedroom with a knife, waiting for me. If I had gone into that room, I might not be here to tell this story.